Hello, students and parents. My name is Miss Whitman. Welcome to room 204. I'm pleased to welcome you here. I sure wish that I could meet you parents and guardians in person, but for now we've got to do what we've got to do. So here we are. Welcome. I want to start by providing you with my contact information. If you need to reach out to me for any reason, please don't hesitate. Email is often the best bet. Okay. So quick rundown of things I want to talk about. I'm just going to show it to you here and then I'm going to jump right in because I tend to talk too much and for too long. So those are some of the things I'm going to talk about. If any of it interests you, please keep listening. Okay, so first thing I want to talk about is love. So here in my classroom, I aim to run my operations on love rather than fear or anything else. So I believe truly from the bottom of my heart that students are very perceptive and they know whether or not their teachers really care about them, and that when they know, they are far more inclined to learn and to grow. And so I make a point of showing my students how sincerely I do love them, and I love them a lot. And I think that that sets a great foundation for us in terms of learning and making our classroom a safe space where we can grow together. Weirdness is also a big area of focus in my classroom. I know that middle school can be a time where we're tempted to conform and to meet certain other people's standards of how to behave, and I want my students to embrace who they are as individuals. They have such unique and fabulous identities, and so in our classroom, we want it to be a safe space where we can build community and where we can embrace our unique, weird qualities. We all have them and they're all different, and I really want students to feel comfortable sharing who they are with our class. So as you can see in these pictures, my students come to embrace their weird pretty quickly, and so do I. In terms of curriculum for writing workshop, our curriculum comes from Teachers College and was created by Lucy Calkins. The curriculum is focused on giving students a lot of choice in their writing. So we have several units. We have a unit that we start off with, which is a personal narrative unit. Students will be writing stories from their own lives. Then we'll focus on the literary essay, where students will learn about essay structure and writing responses to the things that they read. And then we'll end the year with a research-based informational writing unit, where they will be researching topics related to teen activism and related to issues that matter to them. And then we'll actually fully end with poetry. We'll also have grammar and poetry interspersed throughout the year. I'm a big poetry fan, so I like to make sure students don't have that grumpy poetry feeling that a lot of them tend to feel at first. I like to get them excited about poems and about grammar. So those are all areas of focus for us. As much as possible, I like to give students choice and options when it comes to their writing so that they come to care about what they're writing about. I think that giving them very scripted work tends to just be boring and not so fun. And so as much as I can, I aspire to give students choice and creative freedom. In language arts class, we'll be reading several class selections that we'll read together as a group, and students will also have lots of independent reading they'll be doing. It's a big goal of mine to encourage students to develop stamina as readers, so I want to ask that you encourage them to read for 30 minutes every day, including weekends. It's really important that that become a habit for every student in the class. It's one of the #1 predictors of future success in academics. Our language arts class will have lots of skills-based lessons where we'll learn about different reading strategies. We'll learn about identifying certain craft moves that authors use, and we'll also have lots of vocabulary instruction, including a weekly vocabulary quiz, which the students are very excited about. Speaking of quizzes, my policy in terms of quizzes and tests and big assignments is that students can retake and resubmit pretty much as often as they need. Obviously, they can only do that until the end of the marking period, and then they have to kind of start over again when the new marking period begins. But if a student doesn't do well on a test or does poorly on a quiz and wants to study the information and retake it, I am all about it. And I will just give them the new grade when they come in ready to retake. I think that our goal here is for the students to learn. That's what I want, and I hope that's what they want. And so I'm going to give them as many chances to succeed as they need. In theater class, we'll focus initially on theater history, on theater terminology, on the space of the theater, careers related to theater, and then we'll do a little bit more of the active on-stage stuff. So we do a lot of games that help to build community and collaboration. Theater requires a lot of vulnerability, and so we'll focus on that. We'll have a little unit on improv. We'll focus on using our whole bodies as opposed to just being talking heads on stage. We'll also work on using our voices to create character and to create convincing storylines. Students will also perform monologues, and we'll end the unit with, or the semester, I should say, with a final performance that will be open to at least some of the other students here at the school. And all the students in the theater class will be involved in that production in some way, mostly on stage, but some may be also focused on backstage things. So those are the three classes I teach. In terms of my qualifications, I studied at Franklin and Marshall College for my undergraduate in Lancaster, Pennsylvania. It was amazing, full of awesome Amishness and delicious food and a beautiful, wonderful city of Lancaster that I loved with all my heart. I was an English and Spanish major there, and I then went to the Graduate School of Education at the University of Pennsylvania, where I studied higher education. I thought that I wanted to be the president of a college, but quickly realized that what I really love is being with students and helping them to grow. So far, my college mascots have been the diplomat and the Quaker. So if I ever get my doctorate, I'm going to get a really scary mascot, like a tiger or a dinosaur or something. So be on the lookout for Miss Whitman's future mascot information. In terms of communicating with me, email is probably always the quickest and best route, but I'm also very open to doing video chats, which we came to see last year as a powerful tool. So if you ever want to chat in person over a screen, we can certainly do that. Hopefully you've received your first edition of my class newsletter, the 204 brochure. I try to send out one a month. Sometimes I'm late, but I'll try my best. So keep checking that out to be aware of what we're learning about in class at certain points in the year and what activities we're doing for our social emotional learning. And also, if you want to follow me on social media, I have teacher accounts on Twitter and Instagram. My name is Wonder Whitman, and you can follow along and see some of the things we do in class, and the kids can follow too if they like. So if I can just ask you one favor, I guess this is mostly geared toward my language arts parents, but frankly, it's really useful for anyone. And I would just ask that you model and encourage reading in your child. There is no greater predictor of student success in their academic lives than how much they read. And as you can see in this visual here, the amount of reading time spent really does make a difference. So if you can be the person who either reads with your child, reads near your child, talks to your child about books, asks your child what they're reading, those are just conversations that cannot be replaced. And I love to talk about books with your kids, but the more it can happen outside of our classroom, in home, in real life, the better. So I thank you so much for encouraging your children to be great speakers and readers and writers, because they all can be, and some of them already are. I thank you so much for entrusting your children to me. As I said before, and I really do mean it, I already love them. So if there's anything I can do to make this year go a little more smoothly for you or your child, please don't hesitate to reach out. I wish you a wonderful year ahead, and I hope that some of you I get to meet in person one day. All right, have a great night. Bye.